Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I am sitting on my floor, and that is because we are in the process of doing a declutters series. So we're about to dive into the next product here, which will be concealer. But if you have not seen the foundation video, I would love for you guys to check that out. I will have it linked down below and at the end of the video for you. But I hope you guys are excited for this declutter series. If you're new to the channel, hi, my name is Mary. And if you like makeup related videos, I would love for you to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and introduce yourself down below because I would love to meet you. Let's go ahead and keep going on this series and get into those concealers. Okay. So we are all set up here for the concealers now. I've moved the foundations off to the side just to kind of get those out of the picture because those are all done and separated. I'm gonna keep doing a similar thing here as I did from that video if you've seen it. We're gonna swatch on our arm and we will have stuff for the keep bin or the keep alley bag here and the get rid of. I'll probably also start creating a little maybe pile that we will circle back on. So we're gonna dive into the concealers here now. What I did last time with the foundations is I really tried to find the concealers that I was like, yes, these are the hold on to products, and then kind of pull out from there and try to compare and see, just like definitely get my yes products going here and then find out from there what I actually do or don't need to hang on to. When looking at the concealers, there's a couple firsts that really draw and grab my attention. I would say the very obvious first one that I'm gonna be hanging on to is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer. If you know Maybelline, you know that this is a very well-loved product between a lot of people. Some people aren't the biggest fan of the doe foot here. I really don't mind it, especially for personal use. But if you were to like have a kit or something like that, it definitely, you would want to consider something a little bit more hygienic. So here's that one swatched. I had mentioned it in my first video as well, but my mindset and my goal is to kind of have makeup kit in mind to some extent. I really just want to hold on to products that are good that could be essential to a makeup type kit and not hold on to any of the extra unnecessary stuff. So yeah, we'll see how successful we are with that after the whole declutter series is done. But here's that first one swatched here. This is the Maybelline, and it's just so smooth. Like even using just the applicator there, it applies so smooth and so nicely. I love this concealer. So obviously we're hanging on to that one. The next one that comes to mind is probably going to be this one here from CoverGirl. This is their True Blend Undercover Concealer. I grab for this one so often. I think mostly just because I think it's a decent shade. I like the tone and the brightness of this one compared to a lot of my concealers. Very light. I like a bright concealer, that is for sure. And I guess the Maybelline one is definitely darker than that. But honestly, it feels pretty similar to the Maybelline one. So there's that side by side, clearly significantly different shades. If you watch the foundation one as well, you'll click onto that. I don't know what the heck my shade or tone is. Clearly I struggle with that, but hopefully I make it work with the products that I have. But I do really love this concealer. This one is really, really nice. So we are hanging on to that one. Up next, it's definitely a newer one in my collection, but I have found to really, really enjoy this NYX Professional Bear With Me, their concealer serum. This one is just so cool. It's not like a lot of your concealers, like the Maybelline one is very interesting with the little puff applicator on the top. This one comes with a pump, which I think is so, so unique. And I would love to see more concealers doing something like this, just because it doesn't like force you to use the doe foot. It kind of allows you to pump it where you need it and apply in whatever form that you want to, whether it's with your fingers, whether it is with some sort of doe foot, a sponge, a brush. It just kind of leaves that choice up to you, which I think is so cool. So that one's swatch. Definitely feels so much thinner than the other ones and lays down on the skin so nicely. Love that one. I don't know. Yeah, can you see it there? That guy right there. That one is a favorite for sure. Another somewhat more recent favorite of mine, I think it compares to some extent to the NYX one, but is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Creamy Concealer. Now this one is your standard doe foot. Man, I got a pretty decent shade match compared to that other one. This NYX one and this ColourPop one are definitely a little bit more dark of a concealer than what I would typically go for. That ColourPop, or not the ColourPop, the CoverGirl one, again, that's the lightest one so far here that we've swatched. That one I definitely like for brightening. But yeah, I mean, honestly, just swatching these two side by side, aside from the shade, just the texture and the feel of them, this feels so similar to the NYX one. So I really love how that feels. The shade, not necessarily brightening for me, but I love how it lays on the face, looks on the face. So we are definitely keeping that one. I would have to say, just from a first glance here, these are for sure the favorites. Like, yes, these are the yeses. There's definitely more in here that we will for sure hang on to, but this is what we're working with for favorites so far. Let's go ahead now and grab this L'Oreal one. My mind instantly goes to it being similar to the CoverGirl one. I don't know why, but let's give this one a go. I don't use this one nearly as much as I use the CoverGirl one. Again, it's probably because it's nice and light and bright, and that's just what I go for. This one has a nice large doe foot applicator on it. It's not as pinky of an undertone as the CoverGirl one. A little bit more yellow. I do like how that one feels too. I think undertone wise, again, I have no idea. I think I gravitate towards that one, but this one still honestly is not bad at all. So that one I'm for sure gonna hang on to as well. Let's go into these jumbo ones that I have off on the side here. First one here is the Makeup Obsessions Mega Concealer. I've had this one for a long time. And when I did my Makeup Obsessions brand new face video, I bought 2 shades of this. I ended up decluttering one in the last one just because I was really trying to condense down. Again, trying to really condense down this time around too. But I thought that this actually worked really well as a foundation as well. I don't use it as a foundation anymore just because I have foundations that I enjoy and love. But here is what this one looks like. The doe foot on this is very unique. And honestly, this is such a good concealer. Oh, it's so good. Ooh. But I have not reached for this in such a long time. Ooh, I don't know. I want to keep it. That's really nice. I don't even know. Makeup Obsessions is a kind of an interesting brand to me where I saw them and I saw a lot of products from them when I did my video. And recently after that, they kind of just disappeared. So I don't know what they do and don't do anymore. There's always a chance that this doesn't even exist anymore. I need to be very honest with myself. This is a great concealer. I love this concealer so much, but I've had this for a very long time. I think I need to just push myself and tell myself that it's time to get rid of it. And if it does still exist, I need to pick up a new one because it is great. If Makeup Obsessions is still around and you haven't tried this, I recommend you trying it because I actually really like it and it's very affordable. Let's do this other jumbo guy here, which is the Juvia's Place I Am Magic Concealer. It's been a minute since I've used this one too. I just have so many products to go through. Similar to the foundation, if you've seen that video yet, Coverage. This one is also very light, very, very bright. Yes. definitely has a lot of coverage. I enjoy this one as well. I don't go for super full coverage as much as I maybe once did. I've kind of really started to enjoy the more light and natural coverage of things, but this is a really, really nice concealer, so I am gonna hang on to this one. Now let's go into this one here, Pacifica. This is their Natural Minerals Liquid Coverage, Full Coverage Lasting Concealer. And I think this one is definitely too dark for me. But who knows, it might compare to some of these other ones that I really enjoy. It honestly feels really nice. I've used this one a couple of times. I've used this one more on other people than I have on myself, just because it's not really the best skin tone for me. I'm gonna put this in the maybe pile because I mean, it's swatched really nicely. It has a really nice like coverage and finish to it so far. I don't know. That one I have to think about a little bit. Up next, we've got a couple minis in here. Start with this one, which is newer to my collection. I decided to get a mini of the NARS. Is it like their light reflecting concealer? I might be very wrong about that. Yeah, I tried to get a mini. I tried this on and I don't think it's a good shade match for me. Yeah, it's a lot warmer. It's clearly so much different than the other concealers that I've swatched here so far. So back here. But I know this is such a favorite for people. Yeah, definitely not my shade for concealer. I think I need to give it to somebody else. I'm not gonna use it. People love that concealer. I have not been able to use it enough times, being that it's a wrong shade, to get a really good opinion on it, but somebody else will get a better use out of that one. Better use out of that one than I will. Up next, we've got Tarte. I decided to get myself a little mini Tarte Shape Tape. I used to have, I've gotten a full version of this a time ago. I don't know that I've ever gotten through a full Tarte Shape Tape. I think I ended up decluttering the one just because I had it for a very long time. This is definitely a lighter one, brighter one. Tarte also recently came out with a radiant version that people seem to really, really enjoy. I think it's not as full coverage as Tarte Original or Shape Tape Original. Being that this is a small product and it is light and could be good for brightening, I wouldn't use this on its own. I would mix this in with other foundations, like some of my favorites here that maybe are just a little darker, help kind of lighten and brighten those up a little bit. So I will hold on to this. I don't use it on its own again, but it is nice for coverage for sure. Let's go ahead and do this guy. This is the B Bella Cosmetics, just their concealer in the shade Light. Comes in a little pot like this. I don't use a lot of potted concealers like this. I don't know, I just don't gravitate towards it. I feel like I was very impressed with this the couple times I've used it, but it's just not a go-to for me. It's very buttery. I don't know how well the dry down is on it. So there's that one swatched. So there's that one swatched. Honestly, it's, oh man. I feel like that's a decent tone for me. I could be wrong. Who knows? But I don't use it. I never use it, which I think means I need to give it to a new home. I think it's time to get rid of it. Bye. Bye, Bella B. Let's do this one next. This is the Kiko Milano Universal Stick Concealer. And similar to the B Bella one, it's just a different formula of concealer that I don't use very often. But again, I feel like I remember being so impressed by it. It is so creamy. Oh, I like that one too. That one also is very similar in shade to the B Bella. Yeah, that one's really nice too. I don't think I'm ready to get rid of this one here yet. I need to try it a couple more times for sure. I think I'm gonna really like it. I just need to get myself to use it, even though it's a different formula of concealer than I typically use. All right, up next we've got Tom Ford. This one I've mostly held on to for the most part because I bought this for my wedding makeup, which tells you it is old. I need to get rid of it. I'll swatch it just for funs. Oh my goodness. But I think what I need to do with this one is I've got a box of products that I don't ever want to get rid of, but clearly are just expired or just don't work for me, and I don't want to let them go. Kind of like a little sentimental thing. Honestly, I did a good job with the shade on that one. Good job, Mary. I think this one needs to go in there as like a little memory product. It's Tom Ford. I splurged and got Tom Ford for my wedding, and actually I'm really happy that I have it. So I don't use it anymore. I think it's time to stop using it, and we're just gonna hide it away for years and years and years until it actually becomes time to get rid of it. But there's Tom Ford. That one is beautiful. I love that concealer so much. So I'm gonna toss that over there. Up next, we've got e.l.f. Their 16-hour camo concealer. I've had this one for a while too. Goodness. This is their matte version, I think. I believe the white lid is the hydrating one that people really, really like. This is definitely in a very, very light shade. Yes, very light, very bright. Ooh, feels very full coverage. It feels more, I think this is the Tarte. Yes, I think this is the Tarte. It feels way more full coverage than the Tarte one, to be honest. Here's what my mindset is doing. Here's what I think I need to do. I think, because I've had this one for such a long time, I think it's time to get rid of it. It's very, very nice. I can always get another one. If I do get another one, I think I'm gonna end up actually having it replace the Tarte one, because I think this is better looking than the Tarte one, in my opinion. Like, look at that coverage. That's just so much better. But I also do want to try the hydrating one too. So I think I might try and pick up the hydrating one first, or maybe I'll get them at the same time. Who knows? Because I'm curious, because I know that people like the hydrating version of this. Okie dokie, we've got about 5 more concealers in here, I think. Let's do this guy. This is by Winky Lux. It is their Peeper Perfect concealer. The package on this is super cute. It's got a little squeegee tube, which I think is so cool for a concealer. I love when concealers try to mix it up, do things different. The doe foot is nice. I really don't mind it, but to have a different thought process, I think is so cool. And kind of be a little bit more unique. I think we're gonna say no. I'm looking at the stuff that I have here, and I'm really happy with the stuff I'm holding on to. So I think I'm gonna say no. And that's gonna also make me circle back on this Pacifica one as well. I don't need it, so we're getting rid of that in the maybe pile and putting that there, because I'm genuinely really happy with the concealers and stuff that I'm holding on to so far. Then we've got Flower. This is their Light Illusion concealer. I like the shade of that. Feels very light. I've used this one a couple of times. I believe that I've liked it. Here's that guy swatched. Yeah, it feels really, really nice. I need to remember how well it wears and if it creases. Let's put that back in the maybe. Let's put that in the maybe pile here for now. Depending on how the rest of these swatch, we'll see if that ends up going back in the collection. Then we've got the Catrice Liquid Camouflage High Coverage Concealer. I used to use this one like crazy. I remembered really liking it. Catrice is such a really good brand. I'm running out of arm space here. That's a good match too, I think. I think that's a good match. Again, who knows? I think similar to the e.l.f. one, I've had this one for so long. I really liked it at a time. I've kind of stopped using it. I've got my favorites here in the front that I just use so often. I think it's time for me to let this one go. Definitely something I should repurchase at some point in my life, because I do remember really, really liking it. But just because this one is definitely an older product, I think we've got to let it go. 2 more left. Oh my goodness. We've got the Milani Conceal and Perfect, their longwear concealer. That one feels thicker. I don't know. I'm gonna put it in the maybe for now. I'll have to think about that one. And the last concealer is the Revolution Conceal and Define. This looks like I've used a lot of it, but I don't recall that I have, and it has separated a good amount. Maybe I have used a lot of it. I don't know. I feel like I haven't, but there's not a lot of product in the bottle. Let's think. I'm gonna put that in the maybe. So before we go through these maybes, we'll come up close again. We'll reevaluate these swatches. I don't think I'm gonna be successful just like I was in the foundation one, as to remembering what we all have on the arms here, but we've got our obvious ones at the beginning. We had the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind CoverGirl one. I don't entirely remember what it was called. I believe this one was the, yes, this was the NYX Serum Concealer, and next to that was the ColourPop Hyaluronic Tinted Concealer, a creamy concealer. And then everything after that I don't remember. But here is what those all look like. It's so fun. Man, aren't swatches so cool? Can't wait till we get into the eyeshadows and it's all colorful and fun. Let's look at our maybes here. So I think comparing these last two here, which was the Milani and the Revlon, I think color-wise, the Revlon is gonna be a better option. And I think the Milani one was a little bit thicker. So I'm gonna hold on to the Revlon. And we're gonna get rid of the Milani. The flower one, which I think was this swatch, we're gonna let her go. We're gonna let her go. She felt really nice, but again, I've got ones here that I just know that I really, really love. So we're gonna let her go. We're gonna give it a new home. And wow, I'm gonna get these put into the little container here now. Look at that progress. So this guy doesn't fit in any of the things, but wow. Just holding on to the stuff that I love. Oh, that's so exciting. Super duper exciting. So there's the concealers. And here's everything we're getting rid of. There's a couple in here. Again, age-wise, I'll probably end up just tossing, and the rest of them I'm gonna put in my little like giveaway section in my room here. Once as we get through all of the series here, I think I'll circle back and I'll show you guys the entirety of the giveaway bins and stuff. There is stuff in there from previous brand new face videos and little like just like decisions and stuff that are already in those bins, but yep, it'll be kind of fun to see how full that gets and kind of see what the drawers all look at the end. But if you guys enjoyed that concealer one, I would love for you guys to like the video. Again, if you have not checked out the foundation one, that'll be linked down below. And that's gonna be everything for this video. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.